Welcome. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at this Gimibox Foldable Bluetooth keyboard. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description on Amazon. And if you use that link, it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So it has some features listed here. It says touchpad, folder type, scissor switch, block type keycap, ultra slim. We have features listed on the back too. These are some of the same from the front. It says Bluetooth 5.1 connection. So let's get this open. So here we have the keyboard, the manual, and here we have a charge cable. Let's pull the keyboard out. So that folds open. Let's take a quick look at the manual before we get too far into it. So here's a diagram of the keyboard. We have multifunction keys on the top. On the back we have the power switch, Bluetooth, and charging interface. This is compatible with Mac, iOS, Android, and Windows. So to turn it on, we flip the power switch to on, press the Bluetooth connection button. The blue LED will light after pressing the connection button. Then you want to go into your device, into your Bluetooth settings, and choose the keyboard. It's called Bluetooth 5.1 keyboard. It says make sure it's fully charged before using. Now different keyboards can have different key mappings, so you can press function Q, W, E to change the shortcuts for different systems, and I will demonstrate that later. Once you connect it the first time, if you turn it off and turn it back on, it will reconnect automatically. It will only remember the most recently connected device, so if you want to hook it up to a different device, you need to reconnect it to that second device. The keyboard will go to sleep after 10 minutes if you're not using it, and you can press any button to wake it back up. Then we have some settings here, you can pause and read through those. That's to turn on the touchpad on an iPad. Here we have a list of the different function buttons. So they're mostly the same on iOS, Android, Mac, and Windows. Here we have the tech specs. Battery capacity is 140 milliamp hours. Here's the touchpad. So it has different gestures. You can do single click. You can do two finger slide to simulate a mouse wheel. It has pinch, zoom, things like that. Here's the status LED, keyboard maintenance, and frequently asked questions. So this has a magnetic closure on it. So it kind of sucks it closed there. It's on both sides. And then it has these hinges between the different sections. On the bottom it has the rubber feet to keep it from sliding. Now this does not lock open, so you do need a surface to rest it on while you're using it. You can see this kind of hangs down a little bit if you hold it from the center. So that's something to keep in mind. So let's turn this on. Let me grab my iPad. We'll go into the Bluetooth settings. I'll press that Bluetooth button next to the on-off switch. The Bluetooth light is lit up. And here we can see it says Bluetooth 5.1 keyboard. So I'll tap that. And now we have it paired to this iPad. Let me turn the keyboard the correct direction. So this is iOS. So I'm going to press function Q. So it says iOS, Android, and Windows. And that will give me the hotkeys to work with iOS. So I can hold down Command and hit Tab to tab between applications. So let's go to the Pages application. So I have a cursor here. I can type on this. So this is a compacted keyboard, so it can take a little bit of getting used to, but once you type on it a while, it should become second nature. So I typed out a sentence, I can hold down Shift and hit the left arrow, and we can select, just like on a regular keyboard. So I can use the touchpad like a mouse. I'll hover over this and I'll tap with two fingers. I can go to Format and make it bold. Somewhere on here I can probably change the size. Let's try this. Let's make this bigger. There we go. With a keyboard like this paired to an iPad, you can make it a lot more like a desktop computer. We can even do things like search, so I can hit function F1, and we have the search come up. On an iPad, you can do math here, so we could say 241 plus 17, and here we have the answer of 258. We can also do things like control the volume, so I can hit function F11. Might be hard to see, but the volume is changing up here on the top. We can also play, pause music, copy, paste, and we can even lock it. So we'll hit lock and it goes to sleep. So if we were on Windows or Android, we'd hit function Android or function Windows and it would switch the hotkeys for those systems. I know one big difference on a Mac or iOS compared to Windows is that Command and Option are reversed. So it's nice being able to change that on the keyboard as opposed to having to go into the settings to change that. Now let's pair it up with a computer. Here I have a MacBook Pro. I'll go into the Bluetooth settings and I will press the Bluetooth button here. Okay, that's flashing, and I'll hit connect. Now the Mac has a keyboard assistant. I will go through that, and actually I can use this touchpad to do it. And now we're connected up on the Mac. So again, I can use Command Tab to tab between the different applications. I can use Spotlight Search to search for things. And I can type on it just like any other Bluetooth keyboard. Oops, I accidentally typed a letter there. I can use my cursors to go back and delete that. So when we're done using this, we can hit the switch here to off, and we can fold that up, and it's in a very compact form, so that can fit in a backpack, briefcase, suitcase, or wherever you want to store that. After we've used this for a while, we can charge it up. So I have a USB charger here. We'll plug into the micro USB, plug into the charger, and it's not currently charging. Well, it's charging here, it's just not showing up on my meter. It's probably drawing too low of a charge to show up, because this normally shows. But we can see that this indicator is red, although that might mean it's already charged. Okay, so the red does mean it's charging, and this will go out when it's done charging. So that's the Gimibox Foldable Bluetooth keyboard. So there are many uses for a keyboard like this. You might be traveling and you take along a tablet or maybe even just your phone, and it can be kind of a pain to type on those devices. So with a foldable keyboard like this, you can pull this out and have a more desktop-like experience with your phone or tablet. Phones and tablets tend to have really good screens. You can open up a lot of the same apps you can on a desktop computer, but the deficiency is the keyboard. With this can make it easier to type out long things than using your thumbs. You can also connect this to a laptop. Now, a laptop already has a keyboard, but sometimes people want to raise up their laptop, so the keyboard is not easy to hold. If you're in a hotel, you could have the computer plugged into your TV, and you could use this keyboard to control it from a couch or bed. Maybe you're watching a movie on your laptop and you want a remote. You can use this for that. You could pair this with devices like a Fire TV or a video game system. This can make it easier to enter things in on those devices when they prompt you. Now, not all applications on a Fire TV stick or other media stick will allow you to use a physical keyboard, but some will. I really like how this has options for different systems for the key mappings. So if you're a Windows user, iOS, or Android user, you can switch between those, and you don't have to try and figure out what to press to do things. The nice thing about this being so small is that you might be on vacation and you have no intention of working, but you can throw this in your bag, and if something pops up and you need to respond to an email on your phone, you can pull this out. But if you're not using it, it doesn't take up much room. Now the runtime in this, according to the Amazon description, is 48 hours. But the standby time is hundreds of hours. I forget the exact number. So you can have this on standby for a long time, and the 48 hours is of actual usage of it. And of course, it goes to sleep after 10 minutes. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.